Hi Sagittarius, and welcome to your February 2021 general look at the cards. So you got two Lenormands. The first one is this grandfather clock. So this is something to do with, it's something to do with time. It's also something to do with tradition, the establishment, something. It's a very, very unusual Sagittarius card. But you're obviously dealing with something that's taking time to to understand the full extent of something. It's about the process of time. Maybe it's waiting for the right time. Maybe you're waiting for something to evolve, to know the full extent of what you're dealing with, that sort of thing. But it's also a card to do with tradition. But I think I'll find out more when I look at the tarot. It tends to show up as a card like the Devil card. So dealing with something to do with the establishment or authority. You then get the Guardian card. So this is about socialization, connection. You're obviously not in the UK if you get this card, unless there's. But this is about connecting yourself with other people. There's so many ways to connect, but what I love about this card the most is I find it a very, very joyful card. So connecting with others, being in the community, being out in the world. Okay, so I think, and there's some sort of freedom going on there. Maybe it's a freedom from restriction, a freedom from the hard grind of everyday life, the freedom from something that's maybe been around for quite a long time, that's taking its time to get through. But then you're going into this brand different space. The garden is a bit air. It's about having room to breathe, room to move. And the grandfather clock is very much about the earth. So completely different energies. So I'm going to do a throw of the cards to see what's happening for you in the month of February. So try and give me clear direction for the sign of Sag. So you've got the Five of Swords, but it's behind you, okay? With the Death card. So yeah, okay, Sagittarius, you've definitely been dealing with something. Now the good news is this is behind you. And the Death card is Scorpio, so it's about shredding some sort of skin. I will clarify if you want, but remember it's what you're leaving behind to move into February. So what you want is the Page of Swords. It might be conflict. The Five of Swords can just be conflict. It can be arguing with people. It can be about, quite difficult conflicts. The Page of Swords is what you want, which is about news, information. Now the gift is a Nine of Swords. The challenge is the Three of Cups. So you got an awful lot of mind energy here, Sag. Page of Wands in your relationships. Money and work, you get the Moon card. Two of Cups at a soul level. So the gift of the Nine of Swords means the fear and the anxiety is coming to an end. It ends in the 10, but because it's the gift, I will clarify it, and then the outcome is the Six of Cups. So why has Sagittarius got the anxiety? Okay, it's around the Empress. The Empress is about home. This could be another person. The Empress rules Taurus. Taurus rules our body. So for some of you, you might be dealing with some health issues. And if you are, I really, really wish you well. It's about home. It's about love, family. And the Nine of Swords is a card of anxiety. So anxiety is either pain of the past or fear of the future. Okay, so the good news is the anxiety has the power to come to an end. Okay, and we come to the end literally by being in the moment, Sagittarius, by being in the body. I'm not saying that if there's some fear attached to something, I'm not saying that you don't kid on it exists. That's just silly. But this is the gift, and this is what you're going to have to work with. So if it's the gift, maybe you're beginning to understand. Maybe there's someone in your life, they are the Nine of Swords, but they're beginning to recover, and the Empress are beginning to get well. I'm not quite sure what these cards represent, but they're almost polar opposites, because the Empress is, she's about her health, for one thing. She represents the body and holistic health. She represents love. And when we're in the Nine of Swords, we've removed ourselves from the Empress. So we think we're separate and alone. Yeah. So, and that's what fear is. And there's sort of a message here, Sagittarius, around connecting with Gaia, with Divine Mother, with the Goddess energy, to release this fear. So I don't know if some of yous looks like you've gone through some difficulties in January, okay? Any of you's gone through a bereavement, I'm really, really sorry. It's always a really, really tough thing to go through. My thoughts are with you. It could be some news, some challenging situation there. Now, what you want is a Page of Swords. So you want information, you want clear-cut news, you want information. And it's working with these cards. So this Page of Swords has the power to bring your fears to an end. But the Page of Swords carries the Ace of Swords. This is the sword of truth. And when we're in the Page of Swords, we use the sword to cut through our fears, and then we connect again with the Empress, and we connect with our heart. This might be you, it might be someone that you care about going through some difficulties, okay? Something like that is going on here. Because the challenge of the Three of Cups would say that even though there's fear, and there's news coming your way that can cut through this Nine of Swords, you're still not feeling totally lighthearted, because the Three of Cups, these angels fly, and they fly because they've released the Ten of Wands, they've released the energy that's holding back their joy. That is a challenge, okay? Which means throughout the month of February, there's something to do with desiring news, desiring truth, desiring information that can cut through that fear and anxiety and very, very much land you in the present moment. Taurus, the body, your well-being. And it might not be the most light-hearted month. So I'm not quite sure what this is relating to. Some it's a bereavement, some might be a health issue, or someone that you love is having a health issue, okay? I'll see if I can get one more card. Oh, there's some sort of change going on. It's with the Lovers card, so it might be a choice that needs to be made. It might be some sort of relationship dynamic where there's anxiety. For some of you, it is to do with a relationship, because you get the Page of Wands here, which is about making a decision. Very decisive decision, the Page of Wands. And maybe there's some anxiety around having a baby, some decision around making a decisive yes decision to some sort of choice. And the issue here, Sagittarius, is you're dealing with either fear of the future or pain of the past. And essentially they are the same thing. Because if we haven't processed the past, we fear it happening again in the future. Yeah? So I don't know if this is about making a relationship decision. It can be about finances because you've got the moon here. So the moon talks about, it can be about being uncertain. You're in the dark, you're in the moon. And sometimes when we're in the moon, we have fear. So clarify the financial side of things for Sag, please. So maybe for some of you, if it's not a health decision, you might be considering moving house. Yeah. But there's some anxiety because there's risk involved. Yeah, it's with the Ace of Wands. So the Ace of Wands is always something new. It's always some sort of new spark, new creative passion, something new. But when you're dealing with the Ace of Wands, it means you've been asked to let go of the security of the known world. Yeah. So think about it, Sagittarius. You want to go and travel, for example, and you need to let go of where you've been to get where you want to go. For some of you, this is a relationship dynamic. For some of you, it's a financial dynamic. For some of you, it might be both. For some of you, it might be a health issue. For some of you, it might be someone that you love is going through something. And it's always really tough when people that we love is going through something. I think sometimes it's easier to go through it yourself than watch other people that we love going through things. And whatever it is, Sagittarius, I think there's news coming your way with that Page of Swords. He delivers news. And it's news that has the potential to cut through this anxiety and this fear. I will clarify a little bit for you. And around money, being in the moon means that you feel that you're in the dark. You can't see the future. You might be wanting to start something new, and starting something new means you need to let go of what was. That's always a dynamic, and go into the great unknown. Okay? Two of Cups at a soul level. And I think that's to do with that Page of Wands, but also for some of you, you're dealing with someone close to you that might be having, they might be going through something. Maybe there's a decisive decision that needs to be made. There's some sort of act that needs to happen here, Sagittarius. And the reason that I know it is the Page of Wands, but also the Ace of Wands and your finances. They're about action. But the Nine of Swords fears action. And they fear moving out of their comfort zone and going forward. Every single person does. It's quite often what I deal with. Human beings are creatures of comfort. And when I see a reading like this, for some of you, you're definitely dealing with a health issue. Someone close to you is dealing with a health issue. You've been asked to make a decisive decision about something. But that decisive decision is pulling you out of what you knew before and asking you to enter into unknown territory, somewhere where you've not been before. And that's what's bringing you up anxiety. But if you think of a health issue, that's exactly the same thing. We're dealing with territory we've never ever gone through before, or people that we love are. So change creates anxiety, because soul level, Two of Cups, has something to do with a relationship dynamic here. Now the outcome is the Six of Cups and then the Chariot. So The Six of Cups is balance after disharmony. It's about reconnection. It is about love. And then you get the Chariot card, which is about moving forward. So the Six of Cups doesn't have to be about another person. I call this the hitting the sweet spot card. So getting what you want, getting what you need, reconnecting with yourself again, especially if you've been dealing a lot with the Nine of Swords, because when we're on the Nine of Swords, we're very, very ungrounded. We're living in our mind's energy, so we're disconnected. This is about restoring, coming back to yourself. If it's not a relationship, it's about coming back to yourself. And the Chariot, conscious and the unconscious mind are now moving in the same direction. So a decision's been made, you know the course that you're going in, and you're going in that direction. Because I feel a lot of this reading, and I don't know how it's showing up. I think for some of you, it could be a health thing. I think for some of you, it's a relationship dynamic. For some of you, there's insecurity around your resources. For some of you might be having all of it. And when we're in that state, we're literally not living our lives anymore. Anxiety has taken over our system, and we don't make good choices. We're a little bit chaotic. And really, 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 really what needs to happen as much as possible is trying to come back to the present moment, to connect with the Empress, which is Taurus, which is the body. And as much as possible, make our decisions from that place. So the Chariot and the Six of Cups, that's about reconnecting with yourself. It could be reconnecting with someone that you love, and the conscious and the unconscious mind both being on the same direction and setting your course. And really, really the key with this reading is cutting through this Nine of Swords. This is clear communication. It's blue. Blue rules the throat chakra. It's about clear communication. And the Nine of Swords is, there's no way around it. This is a card of being in fear. Yeah. But it's the gift, which means there's information, there's news, there's a decision that's going to be coming, some sort of clarity that's going to be coming, which is going to cut through the fear, Sagittarius, or has the potential to cut through the fear and then connect you with the Empress energy. So I'm going to ask for an advice card for you. Okay, so you get the King of Cups. One more card. So the King of Cups, this might be a person, this might be you. So the King of Cups is, he sits on water and he doesn't drown in it. So when we're on the Nine of Swords card, we're literally not in reality. We're living in a state of fight or flight, okay? That's when the adrenal glands go crazy. We imagine all the worst possible scenarios, and then our bodies live like they're actually happening. Not a good state to be in. The King of Cups accepts things exactly as they are. He's incredibly calm and incredibly focused, and he makes these decisions based on this incredible state of calmness, which is your advice. And I'm not saying that you kid on fear doesn't exist, because fear is there to keep us safe, but it's not there. But we need to develop a relationship with it that's quite healthy, that's based on as clear-cut information as possible. And that's what your advice is. Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about the Page of... Like the Page of Swords is carrying the S. They're both the same card. This is what you want, and this is what cuts through the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is a reality, living in that state of fear. You know, it happens to the best of us, but quite often we need to find a way as soon as possible to manage that reaction. And really, really, that's what's been asked of you. And the Empress is very much about being in the body, being in your health. You know, the earth under your feet, touch soil, all these things, because there's something going to happen, some sort of news that's going to happen that's going to get you back in course for the end of the month. Reset your direction. You've now got this awful unconscious energy. You brought it into light and you're setting your own course for the Chariot. You've reconnected with your well-being and you're going forward in that direction, Sagittarius. Whatever you're going through, so much love to you. I guess these are the cycles that happen to all of us, whatever's going on. I think for a lot of you, when you're entering into the unknown, it tends to be a change of job, changes in your relationship, some sort of health crisis, someone that you love is going through a period of uncertainty or fear. There's certain themes that happen and you're dealing with one of them, Sagittarius. You know what else I think is really effective? Just putting my left hand on my heart. It creates oxytocin, which makes us feel safe. And I've got it on right now, and it's that I am safe. This is all going to be okay. And I do a lot of prayers. I use Tara to pray for other people. Always works, guys. Always works. I've not got one example when I haven't worked this energy and resolution, or at least peace, has not came to the situation or the other person. Okay, Sagittarius, links to my website below. So much love. Bye.